we're going to talk about how you can have your cake and eat it too. And the model of reality that we've been existing so far, it's been duality. So it's black or white, this or that. You can either have this or the other. So let's say, for example, you can be rich, but if you're rich, you're not going to have love. Or you can have love, but if you have love, you're going to be poor. Or like you can have a great paying job, but you're not going to love it so much. And if you have a job that you love, you're not going to make so much money. So it's kind of like there's always a trade off. And in the reality that we're moving into is away from lack, limitation, and fear into our multidimensionality, and all possibilities are open, and there is abundance for everyone. So it's not like if I'm successful, I'm going to take away from you, but there's plenty available for everyone if they want to develop themselves and have it. So, in this sense, you can totally have your cake and eat it too. And the way to do it is not by wondering, grasping, and like watching what everybody else is doing and imitating, but by tuning into your authentic frequency and essence and really tapping into your soul's desires. There's something that you came to live. There are certain things that appeal to you and others not so much. And this is how we design intentionally our lives. And naturally, that happens over time because when we're little, we don't know what we like and don't like. And think of it in terms of food. When you're little, you get exposed to different foods, as you're growing up. And then you kind of decide, okay, I like olives, but I don't like pickles. Or I like cilantro, but I don't like parsley. Or I don't like vinegar, but I like lemons. And the more foods we expose ourselves to, the more, we fine tune our preferences and expand our palate. Because if we're afraid to try a new food because, we might not like it and not, it might taste unpleasant for us, we are limiting ourselves. But if we try it, once and another time, and then we're like, okay, for sure I don't like it, then we know. And next time we see it, we're not going to feel like we're missing out on something because we're going to be certain that we don't like it. And instead, we're going to go for the one that we like. And this is why bad things happen to us in this reality, seemingly bad things. So we can have the experience and based on it, realize, do I like it or I don't like it? Do I want more of it or not? The way we trip ourselves up is that when something that we don't like shows up, we tend to focus on it long after it's gone. And the more we focus on what we don't like, the more of that we manifest. So when we catch ourselves in that loop, what we can do is when we're confronted with something that we don't like, let's say, for example, it's a dishonest person, and we have a bad experience. They lie to us or cheat us. We can say, you know what? I understand that this person is not honest, and for whatever reason, I had the assumption that they will be, but they're not. So let me come to terms and accept that truth and acknowledge that I was hurt by their behavior. And then instead of focusing on that further and not feeling the pain fully and not healing it and moving on from that experience, uh, let me declare I really love honesty. So let me focus on honesty instead and say, universe, bring me more honest people. And focus on that as an experience, or focus on the people around you that are already honest, and make sure that you are honest about everything, because sometimes encountering something like that on the outside could mean that there is a certain area where we're not honest. So that's where it gets very interesting, looking at reality as a mirror, and then based on what we encounter, searching for it within if we need to correct something, correct it, and then also declaring what we want to see more of. And with the same success, if we know what we like, the more we focus on that, the more of it we will get. And the way we focus on it is by consciously appreciating it, giving gratitude, loving it, liking it, and really enjoying it. Which sometimes I notice that people tend to not really go into that experience so fully. If there's something that they really like, they hold back. But there is no reason to hold back, and we can be like little children and fully enjoy and immerse ourselves in a flower and a bird and a beautiful day on the beach and delicious dinner. And the more we show enjoyment and enthusiasm, the more we vibrationally are aligned with it and attract more of it into our experience. So that's why it's very important to have a practice of gratitude and at the end of the day, review it and focus on the highlights and the things that we're grateful for and the things that we enjoyed. And if something went not the way we wanted to, focus on the lessons from it and the contrast that it brought and the new preference accordingly. And in this way, we begin to curate our life moment by moment. And to go back on how you can have your cake and eat it too, we basically want the same things. We want to be healthy, we want to be happy, we want to be doing fulfilling work and expressing ourselves, we want to love and be loved, and we want to be abundant, to be able to afford the necessities of life and enjoyments of it. So when we understand that we all want the same things, and there's plenty for everybody, when you see those things exhibited in another, celebrate them. And when you celebrate them, you're showing appreciation and you get into that vibration. And very easily you can attract them to you if you don't have them yet. And also, whatever you have in those areas, celebrate it. Celebrate the people that love you. Make sure that you express love. And uh, picture yourself having it all. Because sometimes, like we don't know what it is to have it all. And we've been taught these limitations, or, like if you want success, it has to be hard and you have to struggle and you have to like put in so many hours. And what is success actually? That's a good question to question yourself. What does success look for you? And the more we examine through other people's lives, through the things that we have lived until now, what truly fulfills us and how would that picture look for us. Um, we know what it's like to feel healthy. We know what it's like to feel love and be loved, but there are different extents and levels of depth to love. Um, Abundance, same thing. For some people, abundance is a lot of money and brand name things and expensive homes. And for other people, abundance is fresh air and clean water and having a garden and having plenty of time to enjoy reading and connection. So, what does abundance look like for you? Or like travel? But travel can also be very different as well. It could be traveling in luxury resorts, or it could be traveling doing work away and learning new skills and meeting new people, or couch surfing, or house sitting, or adventure travel where you just grab a backpack and explore. So that's the beauty that we can create a life that works for us, and we have that opportunity. And by not focusing on other people, not judging their lives, but just learning from their lives. And maybe, like you see somebody doing something, you're like, that sounds good. And then you see somebody else doing something else and be like, I kind of don't want to do that like that. And then just picking and choosing and collecting. And then you can journal all about it and believe that whatever you're journaling is already true. You can make a Pinterest board and believe that whatever is on that Pinterest board you already have. And the more you see yourself living that life that you desire and having whatever it is that your cake is comprised of and enjoying it and having that beautiful balance, the more you get into that vibration, and when you vibrationally align with it and dissolve all limiting beliefs and hoops in your mind of why you cannot have it, or how it will be difficult, or how it's impossible, or how, potentially it can bring anxiety, or you're not qualified or not worthy or deserving, when you resolve those things in your mind, when you, um, like, imagine all of that and curate it and become familiar with what your perfect life looks like, and also do corrections from time to time when you're exposed to something different and take action on trying it out. Let's say if you want to have a garden and a farm, and that sounds like a great idea because you saw somebody on YouTube living it, and make it like it look like it's fun because it's the thing that's aligned for them. Maybe before you sell everything and buy land and animals and garden, go and do a workaway, or like go meet somebody who already has that and stay there for a little bit, intern, or ask them questions and uh, see, is this aligned for you or not? And in this way, you're not going to be taking like huge risks, but you can just like try things out. Um, and then if you go and try it out and it's like, oh wow, yeah, this is what I really want to do, then go for it full force. Um, and life becomes fun like that. It's a constant experiment. And also, you could be doing something for a while and then it may not be so aligned with you anymore, and you can expand in a different direction. And then you can see how the previous thing and this new thing are actually connected. And there's this constant expansion and elevation. And when we follow our joy and curiosity, the alignment happens very naturally. And we end up constantly having our cake and eating it, and constantly making a new cake with new ingredients that we're exposed to, and adjusting it and tweaking it. And sometimes we put something in it that's like, I'm not sure about this. It's not bad, but I feel like the one I made before was better. And then you can go back to it and have that play about life, like painting a picture and then painting a new one, and constantly like adding to a certain picture and erasing things out of it and adding more things. And when we look at life like that, like there are infinite possibilities, there's so much abundance. We can add, we can take away, we can fine tune. It's like an art project. Um, it becomes so much more enjoyable because there are no mistakes. There are only happy accidents and experiments, and a lot of times we learn so much more from those. Uh, yeah, it's really fun.